10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
Already breaking the deadlift.
I mean, if Brooke Wells, one of the best deadlifters in the game, drops the bar, and you have not, if I was Brenda's coach, I'd be screaming at her right now.
55 reps. So we'll keep an eye on the judges' hands. They will usually put them in the air when there's 5 reps remaining. We don't have all the bells and whistles and the live scoring that we usually have, so we will try to keep you updated on what's going on there. 13 total minutes in this event. We're at Cygnus CrossFit in Mexico City, and it is a packed house in there. This is really cool to see.
And it looks so simple on paper, right? But it's absolutely devastating to start your workout with 55 deadlifts, 225 for the men, 155 pounds for the women. You're winded, your legs are blown up, your core is already smoked, and you have everything left.
Both athletes are starting to break up their deadlifts. Brooke Wells has broken more than Brenda Castro, but her breaks have been shorter as she has immediately gotten herself right back on the barbell. Past the 1 minute mark, 13 minutes and 17.4, a repeat of last year's 16.4, 55 deadlifts, then 55 wall balls, 55 calories rowing, and 55 handstand push-ups. And now Brooke Wells, Adrian Bosman is her judge. He has his hand in the air, 2 more reps to go for Brooke Wells.
It's going to be very interesting for me to see. Brooke obviously done. How far behind already is Brenda? If it's just a small little deficit, then we have nothing to worry about.
Brooke Wells immediately onto her wall balls, and now Brenda Castro is getting set to close out her set of 55. She has a handful of reps left there on the barbell, and she will join Brooke Wells on the wall, but Wells has already opened up a pretty wide lead on Brenda Castro here on the second of 4 movements, and the crowd trying to get behind Brenda Castro as she moves on to the wall balls with Brooke Wells.
And remember, we've got 13 minutes, right? So we have 11 minutes remaining. There's so much time left here that if I was talking to Brenda Castro, I would tell her to relax, right? She's probably feeling the jitters. She's representing not only her country, but all of Latin America. It could get into her head and make her get into a pace that isn't the smartest thing to do.
17.4 on the left of your screen, and remember, before you do this, go to the website and watch the full movement standards, because as Rory McKernan mentioned, there's something a little bit different with the deadlifts, and there's an additional measurement you need to take with the handstand push-ups. Past the 2.5 minute mark, Brooke Wells continues to lead Brenda Castro. Both women have taken a break now on the wall balls, and now Brooke Wells on the left is back to work. Brooke Wells on the deadlift was able to get a 17-second lead on Brenda Castro.
And regardless of the movement, right, you want to say, it's a tall person's movement, it's a short person's movement. Okay, in general, taller people will generally like the wall ball a little bit more, but fitness will reign supreme. But these two athletes are within 2 inches of each other. Brenda is 5'4", Brooke Wells with a slight advantage on this movement, coming in at 5'6" tall.
Wells continues to crank away on her 55 wall balls. Brenda Castro trying to close the gap. Again, keep on their judges' hands. Once that hand goes in the air, it'll mean their athlete has 5 reps to go. Pretty impressive so far by Brooke Wells. I mean, she's taking a break, but they are not long.
No, they're not long, and you know me. You know I love just disgusting, horrifically painful workouts. This fits the bill. Here she is finishing that set. But you're exactly the muscles you need to excel at wall balls. You just blew them up on the deadlift. And guess what you need when you hop on the rower? The exact same thing.
Crowd chanting Mexico, trying to urge on Brenda Castro, who's still on the wall balls. 4 minutes gone by, 9 minutes remaining, and Brooke Wells is on
not
her
far
55
behind.
calories. She's really not.
She's
55
not far
calories
behind.
rowing. And now Brenda Castro will get to work on her 55 calories.
If Brenda Castro catches Brooke Wells on the rower, it will be the largest mistake of her life. That is not where she is going to win this workout. I don't want to say that you can recover on the rower because you're just taxed, you're breathing hard, your legs are smoked, but she needs to find a pace where she's gaining some nice calories, but she's got a lot of working out left to do once she gets off that thing.
Castro is in the black top. Brooke Wells is in the blue top and white shorts. And that crowd is right there. This is a cool little environment. Usually at these open announcements, we get a big crowd, but they're not this close to the athletes. There's the split after the wall balls. Brooke Wells got through them at the 3:39 mark. Brenda Castro done in 4:01, so the lead about the same, maybe a couple seconds bigger than it was after the first movement.
Brenda's got to get fired up with that crowd. I've spent a tremendous amount of time in Latin America. And like I said, the passion of those people, you're going to hear them just screaming, "Si se puede," the entire time. Had we put up any barriers, those would have been immediately disregarded. They're going to be in these athletes' faces the entire time.
Coming up on 5.5 minutes gone by in 17.4, a repeat of last year's 16.4.
And just to put it in perspective, Sean, you and I are probably still on the deadlifts right now, right? Okay,
Definitely.
They're well into the row. So for these two women and for the elite athletes, in my opinion, the workout is about to begin. Once they get off the rower, that big set of 55 handstand push-ups is where the most separation is going to occur.
And you mentioned the concept of interference earlier about how one movement affects the other. Now you've got 3 movements that you've just done that are all very taxing on everything you basically need to do a handstand push-up.
Without a doubt. And even though the row is a pull and there's leg drive, you have smoked your shoulders on the wall balls, you're breathing heavy, and if you can't catch your breath, it just makes being inverted in that handstand all the more challenging. So all 3 of the movements leading up to the most technically challenging one, being the handstand push-up, are just setting these athletes up for one heck of a test.
About ready to hit the halfway point at 6.5 minutes. Remember, 13 total minutes here in 17.4. Crowd getting behind Brenda Castro.
Oh yeah, they are going to help her elevate her game the entire time. Catch your breath a little bit, you get a lot left. If she's gonna make her move, she excels at the handstand push-up, but Brooke Wells does also. And I've dug myself a hole in the past by thinking that Brooke Wells, just because she's a strong girl with the barbell, doesn't like the handstand push-ups, and I was dead wrong. So again, watch once Brooke Wells starts knocking those things out. If you don't know her capabilities, you're gonna be shocked.
If you weren't with us earlier, Brenda Castro is trying to become the first woman from the Latin America region to qualify for the CrossFit Games under our current regional format. And now Brooke Wells is done with her 55 calories, and she will move on to begin her 55 handstand push-ups.
And I'm very curious right now to see how big is this opening set. And this year we have not only the tape line, where she has to have her heels across at the top, but we also have that box down the bottom, which the palm of her hand has to stay inside that marked rectangle.
Heels need to be completely above that gray tape. Wells looks like she's just got hit with a no rep, and this is where in the past we have seen a lot of athletes struggle with this standard.
And if you look at Brooke once she's inverted, she's broken at the midline, right? Her body's not in a nice straight line. Well, when you break at the midline, it pulls your heels down a little bit and can make reaching that standard super challenging. And you break at the midline when your midline is taxed, you're out of breath, you're struggling for air. So again, that's why the 3 previous movements are so devious and make that handstand push-up even more challenging. We're seeing it right now.
Brenda Castro trying to get done with her 55 calories past 8.5 minutes. Brooke Wells is on the right. She's on the handstand push-ups.
And don't count Brenda Castro out just because she's still on the rower. Brooke has gotten some no reps from Judge Adrian Bosman. I don't know how many, but if she's been working a lot and not achieving a lot of repetitions, and Brenda just starts knocking them out, this could change quickly.
And this is a good pace for Brenda Castro. She's through 5. I don't know how many Brooke Wells has completed, but there's a split time as Brooke Wells was able to increase her lead to about 1:20 over Brenda Castro on the rower. But as Pat said, this is where Brenda Castro may be able to make up some ground here, as she has not received a no rep yet and is moving at a pretty good lick. Now there's the first no rep.
Unless you're one of the best in the business on handstand push-ups and you know yourself very well as an athlete, my advice would be small sets followed by small rest. Small sets, small rest. Don't try to be a hero, do a huge set, because then you're just going to be walking around the gym for 45 seconds trying to recover.
Brooke Wells, 2 reps, back off the wall, approaching the 10-minute mark, and then we'll have 3 minutes to go here.
I think Brooke Wells, and again, I don't know the rep that she's on, but I didn't expect to see a double. Let's put it that way. She looks like she's struggling a bit more than I would have thought right now.
Wells looked like she got 3 in that time, and now kicking off the wall. Brenda Castro is on the right. She is back up.
Again, if you are a fan of Mexico, a fan of Latin America or Brenda Castro, start cheering right now, because if a turnaround takes place for Brenda, it has to be right here on the wall.
It is really tough with that line to go fast on the handstand push-ups.
It is a very, very challenging standard. Again, you have to keep your body super tight, and those heels have to be clearly above that marked tape on the wall. And you see Brooke's hands are nice, clearly inside the box. She's meeting the standard very well.
Wells is on the right. She had a 1:20 lead on Brenda Castro on the left when she got off the rower.
And it does seem like Brenda is maintaining larger sets than Brooke Wells, but Brooke had over a minute before Brenda even got to the wall to start accumulating reps.
But both athletes are down to sets of 3, maybe 4. I think Wells just did 2 and she hopped off.
And you can see how this workout just creeps up on you. So it's 13 minutes, right? We just have 2 minutes remaining for these ladies to get off the wall, get back to the barbell, and try to blast through 55 more reps.
Less than 2 minutes to go. And here's another thing people might not realize. Mexico City is at elevation, and that is going to have an effect.
It does have an effect, and the longer the time domain, the more that can creep up on you. It's at 7,400 feet of elevation. This is a workout that I would say, regardless of what score they get, that they both repeat it later on and try to improve their score before they submit.
Less than a minute and a half to go in 17.4. Brooke Wells.
I think Brenda's making this a race.
I think she is too. It does look like she has gotten some bigger sets. Both are taking frequent breaks, but it seems like Brenda Castro is getting maybe 1, maybe 2 more reps than Brooke Wells is before they hop off the wall. And now we hit the 12-minute mark, and we have 60 seconds to go in 17.4.
She's being very diligent with her, keeping her rest between sets very small, too. She's right back up on that wall quickly. This is it, less than a minute. She still looks really strong.
Brenda Castro has been impressive here at this part of the workout. And Brooke Wells has 5 to go as Adrienne Boss's right hand is in the air. So she can hurry here. She might be able to get a couple more deadlifts and move back to the barbell.
So the elevation must be playing a huge factor, because right now, even with the enthusiasm of the crowd, neither woman's going to touch their score from last year. So this is definitely going to be a redo for both of them.
10 seconds to go. Brenda Castro back on the wall, just trying to get as many reps as she can. And now Brooke Wells is done and will get a couple deadlifts. And now Brenda Castro is on the barbell as well. Got hit with a no rep. I don't know what the final score is going to be. What a push by Brenda Castro.
That was absolutely the finish I wanted to see. That girl is legit.
We're going to have to wait for the official score, but this one's going to be decided either way by 1 or 2 reps at the most. How about Brenda Castro?
I mean, what did we say? When this got announced, Brenda Castro had literally nothing to lose and everything to gain, because if you work out against the 6th fittest woman in the world, well, you're not expected to win, right? But if you make it close, if you make it a race, suddenly you are on the map. Brenda put herself on the map tonight.
Impressive performance from both of these athletes. Like Pat said, expect them both to redo this, as neither one got close to their score from 2016. But I was impressed with Brenda Castro coming into this, learning a little bit about her and her accomplishments. I think I'm a little more impressed. And now I think that Dave Castro's letting people know who won this.
If you want to talk about some capacity on handstand push-ups, Brooke Wells had over a 1-minute lead, and Brenda closed that.
Great scene at Cygnus CrossFit in Mexico City. The first time we've been in Mexico for an open announcement. And given the passion of the fans, I don't see how we can't go back there.
If I don't learn who won in the next 5 seconds, I'm going to strangle Tommy Marquez.
Let's take a look at the replay here from 17.4, brought to you by 511 Tactical.